So I reached out to a couple of your friends. I reached out to Les and Thomas and also John Carroll, asking them for possible questions to ask you here. And Thomas told me that he and Les. Now, granted, I sent these texts yesterday, so 24 hours ago. And Thomas got back, and it is Irina's birthday today.
Yes. Thanks for reminding me. I better send
So Thomas gets back to me, and Leslie says, "Let me think about it. I'll come up with something." And then Thomas gets back to me and says, "We talked about it with Les today, and we'll try to come up with a couple, okay?" Well, I haven't heard anything from either back of them for questions.
Oh, whoa! That's a relief. I'm not surprised.
But John Carroll did get back to me. And he said, in researching the show, I did look up, Christina Madsen had done an interview of you for her mixed teams bulletin. And kind of like the impression I got from reading that interview is that you were kind of a Lothario at one point. I mean, you're happily with this woman for a long time, but maybe
yes.
And Carol also said something about, I know your nickname on BBO is Kinder, and he suggested that maybe I have you tell that story.
Well, it's not a very exciting story, but unfortunately, we all get a bit older and everything goes a bit south and west and everything else. So my wild days are long behind me. But the name of Kinder came from a long time ago when I was playing bridge on the junior team. I was in Budapest and 86 or 86, I think it was. And I was at the bar. I think I might have been sitting out or something like that. Out the bar having a beer, and I'd just been served by this beautiful blonde sort of buxom barmaid that I was trying to impress. And I was trying my damnedest to flirt with her in an Irish way as I could. And we don't like to be too obvious, but I was trying to get as obvious as I dare. And I was sort of pouring my beer and messing with my beer and having a joke. And I said something. I flirted with her about maybe asked her about how long is she working? Are you working here all night or whatever? And she looks at me up and down and waves her hands at me like this, and says, Kinder, as if to go away, Kinder, you child. So unfortunately, my non-paying captain was within earshot of her calling me a child, and everybody in Irish Bridge then, all my friends called me Kinder from there on in. So, and they all still do, or a lot of them still do, especially some of the older guys and girls. They all still call me Kinder, even though it's 27 or
30.
What am I saying? 27 years ago, 37 years ago.
And then he also said something about a story with. I'm not going to be able to say this person's name right, but he said something about rabbit stew with. So he. How do you say that?
No. I have to say, John Carl is obviously one of my closest friends. He's I was best man at his wedding, and I'm godfather to one of his children. You have to tell me which one. No, I'm only joking, John. I know it's David. No, it's not. It's Gilligan. What's his name? No, so that's what. But John, first time he's ever. I'm normally the joker, the one that's taking the mickey or pulling pranks on everybody. John pulled the prank on me this time. It's too long a story to go into the details of it, and I can't. But he put it like this: he went to a lot of effort. It was basically. I think I was flirting with somebody. Put it like this: the next time you meet John Carroll, he'll give you the full story. But it was something like I was away, and I sort of was flirting with somebody and sort of made a date. But it was sort of a bit dark when I was doing it, and then I saw the person in the clear daylight, and I wasn't as keen. I'm not as shallow like that anymore, by the way. It was only in my shallow years, but anyway, I I made my excuses and left. And about a week or two later, I got this email from somebody, from this person that I was flirting with, and saying, we thought we really got on well, and they want to come to Ireland for a visit, and listed out every single day between this is in mid-October between now and the end of the year, and it was every single day except for Christmas Day when, of course, she was going to be with her family. But so this went on, and I obviously thought it was real. But John, I was getting planking it because it said she's going to turn up on the doorstep, and I had to, say, listen, oh yeah, this is the moment, I'll get back to you, type thing. And of course, it was John Carroll. He'd gone to the trouble of setting up a dummy email account and sending it to me and contacting me, pretending to be to this girl, and had me, because then we were playing a tournament, and I was calling them over. Lads, you won't believe what that happened to me. Remember that girl from wherever it was? The girl I was hitting on and then decided against it. But now she's emailing me and she's stalking me. You won't believe it. And then John, next thing I see John over on the floor laughing his eyes out. And that was him. That was all his set up. And me going to them going, you won't believe it, lads, that's happened to me. I'm getting stalked. So that was amazingly funny by John Carroll. And put it like this, it's a way longer story than that, but I've given you the toned down version of it, the slimmed down version of it. I can't go into that because
did he actually know the woman's
still around,
name?
So I don't want to embarrass anybody.
You knew the name, like he had the name. You knew the name of the woman.
Oh, I was saying, I thought it was this person. I couldn't believe it. I kept it, like, when I got the first email, I never told a word. Normally, if something like this would happen, I'd be straight on the phone to John and said, you won't believe it, Joan's at the ring of me. But I was so sort of put out by it, I never told a soul. I tried to deal with it myself and keep it calm. Now you've suddenly appeared on camera there, John. John.
Oh, great.
You've appeared on camera now. After an hour and a half or an hour and a quarter, you've suddenly appeared on camera. So I never mentioned Johnny because I didn't want to. If I said it to somebody, it means it was really true, and I just wanted to keep it calm, keep it quiet, and deal with it myself. And I couldn't deal with myself, and that's why John was. It was actually a stroke of genius by John. It was the funniest I've ever seen.
Does your partner play bridge? You.
She does. She just played a 2-session tournament yesterday, and it's she played with my sister, and came there was 56. It was the national finals of the Inter A and Master, and like she's a B1, which is a grade below. So she was playing like 2 grades higher than her designated grade, and they finished 19th out of 56 pairs, which was I'm very proud of her, I told her. And she was very good. She's got a lot of talent, and she'll be a good player, Oh. And I just hope she keeps it up. But she's playing twice a week. And she's even beating hands with Frederick Falker on Cubids, because when I was away, I'm playing a lot with Fred at the moment on the Irish team because Hugh is away in New Zealand. So Fred is playing. We just came back from Tingna and the Spring Fours then in England, and we're heading to Sopot next week. But so I said to Fred, he's on Cuba. I hadn't even heard of it until Nuala told me about it and was trying to get me to bid hands with her. So I got Fred to friend her on Cubids, and now the two of them are bidding hands away. I hope both their games improve. I'm only joking, Fred. Fred is the top player.
Did you go over some of the hands from yesterday with her?
I will do. I invite herself and my sister, who lives up the road. They're both very enthusiastic players, and they'll both be good players. I go through the hands with them in a day or two. Get them over here and have a coffee and go through them. Because that's the best way. I keep telling them that's how you learn. If I'm telling you this is what you should do on this hand, well, you might have to play 10 games to come up with this position to learn it. So like if you're getting, and even if it doesn't have to be your mistake or your play that you can learn from, I'll tell you this is what should be open, this is what should be led, this is how many tricks you should make. You're going to learn a lot in a condensed 20 boards or 40 boards. There was 2 sessions, so they played 52 boards, which was so I was very happy for them. They were both very happy. And they were the poorest first session, and they were over 60% in the second session, so they were delighted.
Does your son play?
No. He tried to follow me in the poker world, and unfortunately, it was a lot easier to make a living playing poker when I first started out, for many reasons. It wasn't as popular, so there was less good players. And now, when they had the boom, there was a lot of money to be made. But it's like everything else. After so many years, the people that are left are only the very good players, the top players. And, there's so many young kids now they basically have a move created digitally for every scenario they encounter live, or you know what I mean. So it's a tougher game, especially tournaments, because it's this A game strategy, and they're all just it's such a high. It's discussed way more now than it ever was when I was learning. If you know what I mean, it was just you just played purely on.
What percentage of deals from bridge, like from New Orleans, for example, do you think you like play problems? Like bidding problems are easier to present, but like what percentage of play problems do you share with your group of friends?
Well, I'm on a group of we're on an email group, different players from around the world. Zia, Sabine, Roy, Chip, and Marty, and a lot of the Scandies.
Wow.
Andy Robson, David Gold, Tartaj Hans from Australia. Frederick Rang,
wow.
Like who's who. There's about 20 of us on the panel. Michael Rosenberg, So it's what we do is somebody has every week or every few days somebody puts up a hand, bidding or play or defense, and puts it up, and everybody gives their answers, and
wow.
and gives their ideas. It's a great discussion group for exchanging ideas, because they're genuinely from all corners of the world are on this group, if you know what I mean. So it's a nice group to be part of, and it's
How did you get to be part of that
you're always
group?
learning something. I was just asked to be. I played for a few years with Zia, and probably joined it around that time when I was playing with him. So he would include me in the emails, and they haven't kicked me off it yet. So they obviously everybody respects everybody else's opinion, which is great. And nobody's afraid to give their opinion. Because nobody's going to look stupid, because bridge is a game of opinions. People have their own opinion. And it's, even if it's wrong, it's not going to be that wrong. It might be a little bit less likely than another way, but like it's all about we all know the percentages for different actions. But
What's the format for people responding to somebody's question? Like, do you wait a couple days because do you respond privately? Like, how do you keep from having your logic affect like others in the group's responses?
Yeah, I know. I know. We don't. We just reply. And usually people don't agree with someone's opinion just because it's put up there first. The people aren't afraid to say something different, because an opening lead, first of all, is only an opinion. It's like it doesn't have to be right or wrong on this particular hand, but it's great to see the different logics for different reasons, And nobody's afraid to give a wrong answer,
right.
Even though when it's not the winning answer, because it's the answer you would give at the table. And if the question has been posed, it must mean that this alternative is the winning action or line or whatever. But nobody picks it because we know it's inferior, even though we don't know. Obviously, this action is probably working on this hand, but to be honest, this is what we do at the table, And everybody answers at different speeds or whatever, and we can. There's some great guys in to give the long, detailed answers. Like Michael Rosenberg is such a pleasure to get emails from him because he does go into an awful lot of logic and reasoning. Some of the rest of us will give one line or two lines. We'll say the answer, and this is why. But reading his logic is it's amazing.
I've got a
the things
good
he does
Michael
think of,
Rosenberg.
when he's working out a
my
problem.
team for the trials, our teammates were Debbie Rosenberg playing with Max Scherson, and we lost in the first round to Kevin Rosenberg playing with Brian Platnick and Kitten Bart. And so it was a 2-day match, and we had met with Michael before the match, and then after the match we're sort of licking our wounds in the lobby of the hotel where it's all taking place. And there's this one hand, and I'm going to give you this as a bidding problem. So I had ace fourth, queen and one, ace third, and four little. So we're favorable, and you deal in first seat and you pass. And it goes pass from lefty, and partner opens two diamonds, and Platnick on your right overcalls three clubs. Favorable.
What are the colors?
4, 2, 3, 4.
And my shape is?
Yeah. And I think you maybe have the 9. Michael knew the exact spots. He kibitz the hand live. He told me he knew the spots for all four hands, by the way.
Okay, I'm not surprised. And I presume double is penalty.
I don't know because I'm a pat. Yeah.
I'm sure it should be penalty, but I don't see anything wrong with three diamonds.
So what I did was I passed. And the reason I passed is because I was like, they have a heart fit, and I don't want to make it easy for Kevin to double and then get to their hearts. So,
Yeah, but he's going to bid three diamonds, so.
Anyway, I
might bid four diamonds.
I know, but I thought, Kevin probably has a hand that's going to be hard for him to bid. And anyway, I passed it. It had floated. And we're licking our wounds from losing. And I said the hand to Michael, and he said, I saw it. And I said, I passed. And we gave each other a high five. Kevin was 5-4 in the majors. 5-4, 2-2 with 5 spades, and he passed. And they do make 4 hearts, but I'm regretting telling this story because I feel like the shine came off. But
no, your logic is very good. Your logic is very good, but absolutely. But you could probably bid three diamonds over three clubs.
He had king. He had king fifth.
With the same hand, if he had a good enough hand to bid over three diamonds.
I think he had the ace fourth of hearts. 2-2. No, that's not. Is that right? Yeah.
Okay, but he could easily just bid three diamonds if he wanted to get to a major suit fifth hand. But I don't know. I know double makes it more convenient, but you have two aces. But listen, your logic in the hand is quite sound. You don't want to get them to the heart hand, it's a heart contract, but it's a couple of aces, so maybe it's a par score battle. Who knows? Your partner could have a short club, which means he's 3-3 in the majors, makes it a lot less likely 4 of the majors making. You can sometimes make 5 diamonds here. He's open third in the hand. He could be pretty good. It could be pretty bad as well.
Anyway, it was a cool thing to pat and get a high five from Michael Rosenberg.
Absolutely, because he loves that theory strategy, the whole right. There's always a difference between the right thing to do in a hand and the correct thing to do in a hand. But sometimes you make a mistake, forces them to make a bigger mistake as well. Sometimes,
What else? What else we got here? Anything else?
You must nearly have enough material.
You're a good friend.
Well, I don't know how many podcasts.
You're good friends with Justin Law.
Go ahead.
You're good friends with Justin Law.
Oh yeah, very much so. He came over to my house for Christmas 2015. We had an epic time, brilliant time. We spent 10 days over here. we had such a fantastic time with himself and Steph, and it's a great memory to have with him. Obviously, a tragedy, travesty, whatever you want to put it, that he's gone so young. But you know, he didn't find life here that easy anyway. So, he had his struggles, but he was a very deep and loyal friend. So he's he was a great guy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We all still miss him a lot.
Uh,
So
what's your favorite
we,
tournament?
we won't forget him though. My favorite tournament, probably my favorite bridge is European Championships. It's intense bridge, high quality bridge, and it's usually it doesn't matter where you are.
Mm,
You really
mm,
well.
mm.
We anyway in Ireland, we like to come 11th instead of 15th, if you know what I mean. So every place we finish higher up,
Mm,
we want to achieve
mm.
it. So we try and keep it going from start to finish. I love the intensity of it. I love the national pride of playing for your country. There's so many events now that you're playing commercially and you're not playing for your country anymore. And it's only a few of them, like we have the Olympiad, we have the European Championships, and we've got the Camrose, which is the home international. After that, you have the
If you could
Champions
win
Cup
one
if you get
event,
into
what
it,
would
the
it be?
Bermuda Bowl. But like, there's nothing better than playing for your country. Nothing. Bermuda Bowl, that's what we really would love to do. From, especially coming from Ireland, like we do punch above our weight, I think, because getting a silver medal, getting to Olympiad semi-finals with its very small pool of players, it needs all the stars to be aligned and for the six players in the team to be available and free to play at the same time and commit to whatever couple of years that you needed to play in a tournament and prepare for a tournament. So I think a Bermuda Bowl would be something I would love to achieve. It may never happen, but it's certainly not a fantasy because the format is get through the first week. It's you're coin flipping a lot of these matches, so you just need to swing that percentages around from slight underdog into slight favorite, and it's
You've had a partnership
our
with
team with
your Irish
a bit
partner
of
Hugh McGann
tweaking
for
and improvement
40 years.
can certainly get there. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping. Yeah, well, not quite 40 now, not that old, but we got together
That's
in the
probably
juniors
one of the
probably about
longest running
1990, so
partnerships in bridge,
about
that would be.
33, about 91 maybe, 32 years ago. And he's obviously in New Zealand, but we still play on some online events. And he was actually over in Copenhagen doing a lecture or some sort of work thing last week. So he came over to Dublin and we had a day's practice with the rest of the team. And he'll come back to Ireland about the beginning of August. So he'll have over 2 weeks here. And we have plenty of practices and live events ready to get him tuned up and to get both of us sharpened. But
I've admired the
yeah,
culture of the Aces
we get on
for a
anyway.
long
We're
time.
very good friends as well.
Do you
So
guys have anything like that with your team in terms
we
of
suit each other. He puts up with me, and I put
when
up
there's
with
an
him.
inferior bid or play made?
First of all, the first thing we put together as a team, we wrote down, we employed a full time captain to look after us, and her name is Growing Barton, and she does a great job. She knows how to deal with everybody because we're all very close friends as well, which is obviously great, but a hindrance as well. But at least she knows how to deal with everybody. But first thing we did as a team was wrote out a code of conduct for the entire team, and the entire team and everybody that's been on the team or has come into the team has to subscribe to it and sign up to it. And it covers all sorts of areas of the game: your conduct, what's expected of you, and there's not a lot because we like to have a good time as well. We're not we like to go for a nice dinner, have a couple of glasses of wine, but we just have to keep everything nicely controlled and done properly, not fall out. Everybody has their own faults. Sometimes I would rant a little bit if I wasn't happy with what was the score sheets that were coming out, and I got to learn to calm that down, because it just never. Your teammates never go back in and play better after you screaming at them. So they'd usually do better if you sort of encourage them. So we're much better at doing that. We try not to discuss the hands during the day at all. We can discuss them at night over dinner. But again, if anybody gets a bit overboard, a bit out of hand, they'll get the look and they'll be told quietly, to improve your behaviour or whatever. But it doesn't happen often, because the team gets on very well. We're a team that we like spending time together. We'll go for dinner and enjoy it every single time together.
Have you ever been to Morocco?
So it's that's why winning the Bermuda Bowl would be just such a.
It's a cool sight. I mean,
Nirvana
I wish. I mean, it's a cool opportunity to get to go to Morocco to play in the World Championships. I think.
No.
I'm sorry that I
hear it's quite hot, but.
Yeah, we lost in the round of 16. We lost the first round, and I had a possibility to play on a mixed team, but
I
chose not.
Are you
to.
playing in trials yourself?
All
right. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to be rooting for you for the Irish.
All right. Okay.
Got a little special insight into the Irish team. One last thing I want to share with you is my youngest sister just had her first child. And her father, my stepdad, is Irish. And so she named the baby Saoirse.
Oh, nice.
Saoirse, I think.
So it's Saoirse, yeah. That's Mark's baby. Mark Moran is Sorcha, Sorcha, or Saoirse or something. So Saoirse. Yeah, we've... Like Saoirse Ronan.
It means freedom.
Saoirse Ronan.
As I'm sure you know.
She's in a lot of movies now.
She spent some time over there.
It's a very Irish name. Lovely name. Very pretty name.
She's got an aunt that she's close with. And just want to get that out there into the... All right, well, I'll be in touch with you when we publish this. And I really appreciate you doing it. It's good to be with you.
Lucky girl, lucky name.
I had a good time with you and Les at the table. Like you guys share. I love the spirit, and grateful to you for doing this. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. You have to have a bit of fun, man.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not at all. And if Les or Thomas ever get back with those questions, then. They're not. You can add them in if it's possible, and I'll answer them certainly if you want to, or if you want to, I'll email me the questions.
Thanks, and
I'll
remember to wish Irene
come back online for 5 minutes and answer them if you could.
All right, buddy.
If it's possible to add them in.
Thank you.
Other than that, it's been a pleasure to be on your show, John, and wish you all the best in the future. I'll do that right now before I get in trouble. Good luck. Thank you, John.